Dumelang everyone. Dumelang means hello in Setswana. Okay. There we go. What if I told you that one story, just one, has the power to ignite a movement, transform a community, or change a law? In Africa, storytelling isn't just a tradition, it's a force for change. Like he said, my name is Kevin Dimofuke, and today I'd like to take you through how storytelling goes beyond the headlines to become a catalyst in social impact. This is a story about stories, the ones that reshape the future of Africa. Next slide. In Africa, stories are more than just words. They are mirrors, they are amplifiers, and they are bridges. They mirror into marginalized realities of communities, amplifying voices often too silenced, and they also bridge divides. Next slide. So I'm just going to take you through a few examples of stories that actually spark change. Let me tell you a story about a woman named Wangari Maathai. In her small village here in Kenya, forests were vanishing, farms were failing, and hope was dwindling. But she had an idea: plant trees. What started as a single act of restoration grew into the Green Belt movement, which planted over 50 million trees, empowered thousands of women, and earned her a Nobel Peace Prize. It wasn't just a story, okay? It wasn't just the trees that captured the world's attention. It was the story behind them. Her narrative of resilience, hope, and change transcended borders, inspiring millions to act. Another great example that I have for you is the Fees Must Fall movement that happened in South Africa. What began as a protest against rising university fees in South Africa became a national movement. The power of this movement sparked policy reforms around the higher education in South Africa. Another great example is from Nigeria, the EndSARS movement. What started as a social media campaign on X, formerly known as Twitter, against police brutality in Nigeria, turned into a fully fledged social campaign and movement, and a series of mass protests. Within a few days of these protests, the Nigerian police force announced the dissolution of the unit with immediate effect. And this just shows us the power of storytelling. So think about the headlines we see every day. The collapse of a gold mine has killed 42 people and injured several others in Mali. They grab our attention for a moment, but then what? Headlines shock, but they don't always lead to action. But stories, on the other hand, humanize. They move beyond the what to the why and the how, inviting us to connect, empathize, and act. Now, how do these stories actually shift the reality? Firstly, they influence policy. When decision makers hear human stories, the data becomes more than numbers. It becomes urgent, personal, and real. Secondly, they shift mindsets. They challenge stereotypes, dismantle bias, and remind us of our shared humanity. They create empathy, the foundation of all change. Lastly, they inspire movements. A compelling narrative can move individuals from apathy to action, uniting communities to demand better and do better. And finally, my call to action. As journalists, filmmakers, reporters, content creators, and change makers, we hold the most powerful tool in our hands: the ability to tell stories. The pen, the mic, the camera. Let's use those tools boldly to wield the future of Africa's narrative. Thank you very much.